Hey, what's up, man? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you with another episode, people, of the Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast. And as always, how is everybody's Wednesday for today? Yo, it is another hot one out here, man. Ain't it hot? Just crazy hot. I was talking to my wife the other day, and listen, y'all, I was telling her, I said, man, I do not remember it being this hot, this crazy hot, this early in the game. We sitting up here at summer temperatures already, people. I know next week is supposed to go down to the 70s a little bit, but Jesus, right now in this moment, it is hot. So yes, and I want to start off by saying, before I do anything in this show, I really want to start off by telling people happy Juneteenth. I really, when I do all the announcements and I get done with everything, what I want to do is I want to take the time to really relate the subject matter to today and round it off with Juneteenth. What I want to do is I want to inspire everybody who looks like me, every person of color, that is trying to do something out here, that's trying to make it, because I'm going to tell you something, man. We all need that uplifting. We all need that encouragement. I want to take today's episode to really focus in on that. Y'all mind? I know you don't. So, all right, y'all. So here we go. First off, people, I got to let y'all know where we at, people. We are here at the Vibe Studios here at 2075 Rush Place in Lake Station, Indiana. Now, listen, it consists of Ron Reader, the VNO, Redirect, Regroup, Refocus, which is myself, Life Coach Jeff, Smooch Wallace, people, please. If you don't know who Smooch Wallace is, please, people, get to know him. Please get to know him. And also, Mary Selena K of Rock Truth Radio. Let me tell y'all what we do for y'all real quick, okay? What we do is we will produce your podcast or your radio show. And if you also want to inquire about using this particular space, okay, using this particular space as an outlet so you can have a production team, or you might want to produce your own podcast or radio show. We have the equipment right here for you. Please reach out to either one of us, and we will definitely be able to help you all with that, because I'm telling you, man, it's all about people uplifting each other, and the Vibe Studios will be able to help you do that. And also, people, I got one more announcement, just one more announcement. Let me add back to the stage. I don't know what happened, but I got kicked out. But I'm back. So this the deal. So this what's up. So we gonna do this here. Okay. I got to talk about this because this is very important, people. Boom. The Show Love Unity Showcase at the Loft, which is happening this Sunday, people. This coming Sunday. It's going to consist of Shondale hosting with co-host Shauna. Okay. It's going to be G-Mar from 3-Piece, Mario Barr, Jay Menace, Dip the Realist. Our very own Smooch Wallace will be performing live. And also, people, remember, No Rush is out. The single No Rush by Smooch Wallace is out. Please, this is a summer song, people. Summer song of 2024. Please, y'all stream that on all platforms. We got the General, Dom Da Vinci, C-Ball, and Madman D there. And the Vibe Studios, along with Raw TV Radio, will be live from 6 to 10 p.m. Now, listen, I know I gave y'all all that in a nutshell, but guess what? As I tell y'all all the time, I have somebody who can better explain it and say it a heck of a lot better than I can. So here we go.
John Dale, Shauna presents Raw Radio Power 92.3 Show Love Unity Showcase. Sunday, June 23rd at the Loft, 52 Broadway in GI. With performances by Mario Barr, Jay Menace, it ain't no competition. Who wants to compete with? Say they taking over, must be sleeping nice and nice. G-Mar, 3-Piece. Also performing live is Dip the Realist, Madman D, the General, Dom Da Vinci, C-Ball, MMOB, and yes, sir, and Raw Radio in the Vibe will be broadcasting live 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. This event is sponsored by 1 hour heating and air conditioning and Hazel Crest. Don't miss it.
Boom, man. Y'all heard what it is. And we're also selling tickets for this event too, people. Tickets are $30 each, and they also come with food. We'll be serving chicken and waffles for the people there. So y'all come out, please, at the Loft this Sunday at 752 Broadway in Gary, Indiana for the Show Love Unity Showcase. And also, people, let's not forget, come on, man. You can pre-order those Smooch Section t-shirts. Come on now, people. Pre-order your Smooch Section t-shirts for $15. It's $15 if you pre-order. But if you go ahead and you buy when you get there, it's going to be $20. Now, that's along with your ticket. So that's a $30 ticket and $5 off your shirt, just so you know. So that's a $45 investment. I'm just letting the people know. Y'all got to remember that. So that's what it takes, baby. So y'all go ahead and order those t-shirts so you can be, once again, part of the Smooch Section. Please. The Vibe Studios will be there, and he's a quarter of the Vibe. So why wouldn't you want to support a quarter of the Vibe, y'all? So come on now. Once again, be a part of the Smooch Section. We will take care of you if y'all take care of us. Invest in the people that you support, people. There it is. So you can reach out to any of us in the Vibe if you also want to purchase tickets for the event also. So there we go, people. Those are my announcements already for the day. And we're going to dive right into it. I want to let you know, man, you don't have time for games, but it's game time. I want to tell you why you don't have time for games, because it's days like this. It's days like this, like Juneteenth, okay? That and I'm so glad it fell on. I'm so glad it fell on the day that I actually do the podcast, so it's a little more authentic. I didn't have to do a pre-recorded show. I could just come to y'all live and really discuss this and talk to y'all about this particular day. And forgive me, y'all, if I'm be wiping my head. It is hot in here. It is very hot in here because it's a very hot day. But I'm going to go ahead right into it. Real quick, what I want to do is I want to give y'all some real quick history real fast on Juneteenth. And I want to tell y'all the big parts that were highlighted for me. Now, it says Juneteenth officially, okay, Juneteenth National Independence Day, is an annual federal holiday, okay, in commemoration of the end of slavery in the United States after the Civil War, okay? Juneteenth commemorates the day when 250,000, okay, 250,000 slaves in the state of Texas, okay, which was really the last stronghold state for slavery during the final days of the Civil War, were declared free by the U.S. Army. It is celebrated annually on June 19th to commemorate the end of slavery in the United States. And I want to tell y'all, like I said, when I first started this off, I said I wanted to talk to my people. And I want to let you know why you don't have time for games, but it's game time for you in this particular moment in time. Because guess what? Something like Juneteenth is very big for us, very big for Black people. And, you know, we always talk about how we always have we have a Black History Month, and, you know, now we have Juneteenth. But America was built literally off the backs of Black people, you know, and I have no problem saying that. I have no problem recognizing that is a part of my history. You know, it's a part of my ancestry as well. You know, it doesn't matter if they were in a field picking cotton, because I have stories about my family members, my ancestors, my people picking cotton in the fields, just as much as my grandfather was. You know, I have stories of my grandfather where he grew up in Arkansas, and his father, Ora, you know, my great grandfather was in the fields picking cotton, yo. And just to give y'all a little background story, that's only a couple generations back, yo. That's not starting with me. That's my grandfather and my great grandfather. That's only a couple generations back. And even though my great grandfather has passed along, you know, he was around for this time. You know, his people were around for this time. You know, his mother, you know, his father, that type of stuff, man. That's what we have to remember about all of this stuff, because there is so much history behind this, so much history. And I want to let you know and inspire you today and let you know that you don't have time for games, but it's game time. When we deal with things such as this that are celebrated and commemorated for the advancement of our people, it's not to be taken lightly. It's not to be taken lightly. You have to remember that you owe it to yourself to pour into you, to give back to yourself in any type of way. Now, I'm specifically talking to my people. I'm talking to Black people. I have to say it like this because, listen, this is a show that's for everybody, but I want to take the time to single this out on this day because it is today. Today is Juneteenth. We're not going to sugarcoat nothing. We're not going to beat around the bush. We're actually going to talk about it. And I just want our people to take our assignment seriously. And what I mean by our assignment is our charge, the way that we can influence a people. There are a lot of things that Black people have done that have influenced so many, down to the dances, the talk, the lingo. You know, you hear us joke about it, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. This is what we talk about amongst ourselves as Black people. We say a lot of the stuff that we implement, other people try to copy. You look at the style of how we dress, okay? Like a hip hop b-boy style. You see them doing it over there in China when they go ahead, they have their dance competitions. You now see it. You now see it on Reels, on Facebook. I cannot make this up, people. You know, Black people, we get fades. Okay, I'm talking about we are the master of the fade class. What I mean by the master of the fade class is I'm talking about hair cuttery central. This is what we do, you know. But you see other countries and other cultures trying to imitate our particular styles and how we might dance, dress, talk, or even look. Do you really understand, my people? Do you really understand and know the power that you possess? Do you really understand and know how much of an influence that you can be just with your voice, just with your voice alone, with the things that you say, through your actions, through the things that you get to do in this world, because now you have an opportunity to be heard. And this right here is a part of that history. Juneteenth is a part of that history. 250,000 slaves were freed in Texas. 250,000 slaves. I didn't even know the number was that great. I had no idea that the number was that big until I sat up here. I started doing my own little research. I looked at some stuff. I was like, wow. Wow. That's staggering. And to know that really it wasn't that long ago, people. Then this is what I have to let y'all got to realize this. The times that we are talking about, the things that have really influenced Black people and moved us in terms of a culture, in terms of our history, when we start looking at separatism, racism, the dogs coming out on us, different things of like that, lynching, other stuff, that was not that long ago. Not that long ago, people. And I just want y'all to keep that in mind as y'all look at today. And also, once again, know that you don't have time for games. You don't have time for games, but remember, it is game time for you. It's time for you to go ahead and take action on the things that you want to do and the things that you want to exude out of this life. You know what? We always like to talk about how other people have different opportunities. Other people have different classes. Other people have different things that they do to help them advance to different and higher levels. But as a community, I charge my Black people, what are we doing to help each other? Why do we still have this mentality of all for one and not one for all? You know, I get it. In any race, we always talk about the crab in the barrel mentality, right? In any race, we always talk about the crab in the barrel mentality. You're not just going to find that with Black people. So let's get that out of your head right now. If you're tuning into the show, just keep in mind that you will find that within every culture, crabs in a barrel. But when pertaining to us, you have to remember, we help build this nation. We help service a lot of this nation in terms of financial gain. Okay? How much money we actually pump into holidays such as Black Friday and Christmas. The numbers are staggering. All I'm saying is, Black people, know your worth and know how big of a role you actually play. You actually play in the turning point of making this country better, because your ancestry had a hand in that. It's kind of funny, man, when you really think about it, when you really sit back and think about it, like you have to realize and ask yourself and really just conceptualize the fact that, wow, for a group of people that went through so much oppression, so much hatred, okay, so much hatred, to where Chicago police want to go in and kill a Black man because he wants to bring other people together to show them different aspects and to say, guess what? It's not just about Black people. It's about how everyone is being treated. Let me tell you something. That's the type of influence that we have. That's the type of influence. And that's why you end up looking at somebody like that, such as Huey, killed in his own home. To where Chicago police, they were literally looking at it and they were laughing at it. They laughed at it. They snickered at it. What I'm trying to do is, black people, I'm trying to let you know, I'm trying to remind you of the influence and the power that you have and why there will be moments where people will want to take that away from you. Okay? I don't care if only a few people tap in. I don't care if I don't have nobody listen to this joke. I don't care if nobody gets nothing out of it today, but I'm going to speak the truth. Because honestly, we got to remember that with us and our African-American people, our black roots, our black heritage, it means something. Not only just to you, but it affects this whole country. And when we look at all the things that are going on in this world today, look at really what's phasing the country. Look at really what's phasing the country. We're looking at a lot of this LGBTQ stuff. And I'm going to say it and I'm going to talk about it because I'm going to speak the truth on it, because I feel that there are a lot of different groups of people that are looking for handouts. There are a lot of different groups of people that are looking for equality. There are a lot of people that claim they were being mistreated. Okay. And you have to remember, sometimes a fight, when you walk into it, it ain't your fight. Now, when there's still remnants of that fight, slavery, racism, and all that, there might not be slavery going on, but I have met a few racist people out here, still in 2024. Still in 2024, I have met a few racist people out here. So let's not act like that towards black people that racism still doesn't exist. Now, it's gone down tremendously. Okay, now I can say that. Generation to generation, you got to remember, when you have a mindset of people, what happens is it's going to take, and I strongly believe mindset is a generational thing. It can get passed down, genealogy, the whole nine. It's how we think. It's how we do things. It's how we move. Have you ever heard your mom and dad say, oh man, you just like your grandpa, or you just like your great auntie, or something like that, or you just like your dad, or you just like such and such and such in the family? It's because different things that we associate ourselves with happen to be characteristic traits. And characteristic traits get passed down from person to person and generation to generation. I want y'all to keep that in mind. And also, I watched a very great video. I watched a very great reel. It was an African-American woman. She was doing a study, and she was talking to a group of people. It was black and white. It was a mixed crowd of people. And it was a photo of a black man who was being lynched and white people standing around, posing for the picture. And she asked a question. She said, okay, I'm going to get into it. This is what she said. She said, we always look at the long-term effects. We always talk about the long-term effects of what happened to black people through slavery. We can see that. It's evident throughout our culture. It's evident throughout our history. When we start pertaining it to America, we can see it. But a big question that she asked was how people asked the question, what do you actually see in pertaining to white people? What is the actual effect that it actually had on white people? So what she did was she zoomed in on a picture. She zoomed in a little bit further. You couldn't tell it unless you saw it. She zoomed in on that picture on a little girl. And with that little girl, she was smiling at the African-American who was lynched on the tree, who was dead. She said, people, these are the effects that it left on white people. Now let's get a little deeper with that. It is called the desensitization of white people for the feelings that they have about black people that go through a particular hardship or struggle. In a sense, because through their ancestry, they were immune to it. They didn't have to go through it. They were more superior. Okay, they were more superior. So what did I just talk about with the generation of mindset? Like I said, racism has gotten better over time. Okay, because that has to get wiped out through generation to generation to generation. But that's the effect that it had on white people, the desensitization of any types of feelings or emotions to empathize with Black people on these types of levels. And what I mean by these types of levels is the level of just showing empathy, simply showing empathy towards a heartache or struggle that somebody that is an African-American man or woman will go through and face because of the look and the skin color. That's what it was, people. So see, today's show was it's more than just just trying to get you happy and motivated inside. I want to teach you something. I want you to take a look at yourself. I encourage every Black person today, do this. Every Black person that's watching the show. And even if you're not Black, still do this because it'll still help you. But I encourage my Black people to do this. If you're watching the show, find a mirror in your household and look at yourself. Find a mirror. Even if you're listening right now, if you're on your phone, take it with you. Go find a mirror right now and look at yourself and ask yourself this question. What do I see? Who am I? Be honest with yourself and use great adjectives to describe yourself. Choose today to pull out all the things that are good about you, because guess what? Today is the day to do it. Every day is the day to do it. But I really want you to really reflect on yourself, especially if you're Black or African American. I really want you to reflect on this day and look at yourself and pull out those good things about you. Because today, I'm going to say it is all about you. Today, it is a day to celebrate your Blackness. It's time to celebrate and to look at yourself and to say, look, I am somebody and I matter. Now, once again, after this day, have that mentality for the rest of your life. Have that mentality for the rest of your life. But Black people, use today. Parents, sit down with your kids. Explain some things to them. And I'm not telling you to sit down with your kids and bash other people. Don't do that. You guys, we have come so far along. We are better than that. We have proved time and time again, even with how we fought through the civil rights movement, trying to demonstrate peace. And I believe that's very evident in Black culture today, because with us, we are still a very accepting race of people, whether it's our own people, white, Indian, Hispanic, Asian, anybody. We'll be friends with dang near just about anybody. Because the thing is, you got to think about like this, people, with all the oppression and all the things that we went through. Okay. Why would we shun out somebody else? Because we had that very same exact thing done to us. So real talk, seriously, y'all, go find that mirror and look at yourself today and ask the question, what do I see? Who am I? Embrace who you are. Embrace your culture. Now, listen, we listen. I have talks with my white counterparts, and I got to say it like that. That's not me trying to be funny. I'm being serious, people. I have talks with my white counterparts, and they say, well, you got to remember, slavery happened, but I'm not that person. You know what? I'm going to tell you something, man. Black people understand that. Black people in this country really do understand the fact that you weren't the one that caused the harm. But Black people that truly understand know that the effects that have happened are over time. It's a longevity thing. It's something that needs to be looked at and recognized because it was here. Let's stop trying to erase history. Let's stop trying to erase different things that happen to people, that happen to certain groups, especially African Americans in this country. Like I told my wife the other day, I'm going to be very honest. I told her the other day, I said, babe, I'm very concerned to see how the history book is going to look another 30 years from now. I'm going to be very concerned to see how the history book is really going to look 30 years from now. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. I say that because we have all these different type of groups of people, like I said, wanting to be accepted, creating their own lanes. Don't even get me started about the pronoun thing. I literally just watched the video because I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. I have respect for people, but I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. I literally saw a video today. Okay? Literally. saw a video today about how you can be born a sex, right? Your external organs. But if you feel that you don't identify with the sex that you were born with, you can identify with another gender. Now, I want y'all to really put that into perspective. What I just said. The hospital can recognize that you were born with certain parts in your body, right? Male and female. I just literally watched this video today. And then it was trying to break down and say that if you don't identify with your gender, you can literally change that in your mind. Now, listen, people, I understand willing to erase certain things and forget certain things of old so we could create something new. But I'm going to tell you something. Man and woman have been created. The studies have already shown that if you try to go ahead and switch that up and try to alter the body, there are people who have died and killed themselves after taking these hormone shots. I ain't trying to sit up here and talk about it too hard, but I told y'all today I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth today, because with Juneteenth, we have to use this. We have to use this as a day to empower ourselves to recognize the things that Black people have brought to this country. And not just one day, but it has to be every day, because like I told y'all earlier, I'm going to be very, 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 very surprised to see what the history book says about Black people 30 years from now. Just give it 30 more years, just 30 more years. If you have a child or you have grandchildren, go ahead and really go ahead. And I encourage y'all, give it 30 years and ask to look at that history book. Is it, because I remember, I'll tell y'all a little memory that I have about history when I was in school. I remember when I was going through and they started putting in like Operation Iraqi Freedom in the history books. It was one small paragraph. It played a very big role in all of our lives. We all witnessed it. Osama bin Laden, all this other stuff, Operation Iraqi Freedom, all these different groups, terrorist groups and all that. It played a very big role in our lives because that's where 9/11 was actually derived from. Played a very big role in our lives. But in the history book, when I was young and I looked at it, and I graduated in 2008. And when I looked at that history book, I believe it was in 2006 or 7, when I was taking a world history class, it was a small paragraph for American culture. Small paragraph for American culture. A lot of things happened during that time, people, and we can't refute that. But it was just a small paragraph. Do y'all believe that Black history and Black culture is going to be reduced to a small paragraph? Slavery, all of the different documentaries that are on powerful Black people who had innovative ideas. The 2 Killings of Sam Cooke. I encourage everybody watch the 2 Killings of Sam Cooke. If you can find it, it used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it'll be on Amazon Prime or Hulu or anything, but I really encourage you, if you can find the 2 Killings of Sam Cooke, please watch that. Sam Cooke and Elvis were the best of friends, and Elvis encouraged Sam Cooke before he died, before he was murdered in that hotel by this woman. I don't have time to tell the whole story here, but when he was murdered by this woman, okay, Elvis Presley encouraged Sam Cooke to stop doing what he was doing. Sam Cooke wanted to start a record label. That's what he was trying to do. He had power and he had influence amongst the white culture at the time when he was making music. I didn't realize it was that big. I didn't realize that Sam Cooke was killing the game out here. And I encourage y'all, watch these documentaries that y'all see, man. Watch these documentaries that you actually see on TV. The Black Godfather talks about how, I forget the brother's name, but how he discovered Whitney Houston, how he had his record label, and how they put him in the rooms to talk to these white people because he knew how to do it. Come on, man. This is a part of our history. This is a part of our legacy, that these are stamps that Black people laid down in this country. But now it's like a snapshot. If you don't catch it, you might miss it. That's why I'm naming off a couple of these documentaries for y'all to watch. The one about the 12th Amendment that's on Netflix too. Oh my gosh, I forgot what it's called, but it was had that African-American lawyer breaking down the different laws on slavery and different things like that, how a lot of the laws are still set in place today. And it's very interesting excuse me, that when you watch that particular documentary, it has white people. Now, I'm telling you this, I'm always interested when white people always want to talk about their impact and their influence, because that means they see it too. They see it too. And it was very interesting, and it put a different spin on it to see white people talking about laws, the bodies that actually help govern the laws. And when you go behind the bodies that actually govern the laws, who actually creates the laws? Because it's an entity in this country that actually creates the laws. It's called ALEC. For y'all, it's called ALEC. But I'm saying all this to let y'all know that all these documentaries, all these certain things that are out there for your viewing pleasure are there to aid and help you. They're there to aid and help you. This is why it's game time for y'all people. Don't play no games with people out here, but it's game time for you. It's time to understand your origin. It's time for you to understand where you come from. It's time for you to empower yourself to do the things that you want to do in this world. I'm talking to, like Martin Luther King said, little black boys and little black girls, you know, little black boys and little white girls, just the co-mingling. But let's narrow that down to our people. Little black boys and little black girls, if you have something that you want to do in this world, I encourage you, parents, sit down with your kids, encourage them. Let them know that it's okay to be different. And what I mean by different is I'm talking about not different to this standard of what I was talking about earlier. And if you missed what I was talking about earlier, y'all go back and catch it. But that's not that type of different I'm talking about. The different I'm talking about is to embrace who you are, your culture, your history. Don't allow a race of people to get wiped out just because the machine wants to come behind and erase it themselves. Keep this legacy alive. Keep the legacy of black people alive. And this ain't conspiracy I'm talking about. This ain't nothing like that, because there are people that love to say that all the time. No, just look at what's going on around you. Sometimes all you have to do is just open up your eyes. Open up your eyes and put it into perspective. It's okay to look at things. It's okay to question things. Question everything. Question everything. It's okay to question some things, because if you question some things in this world, that means you're willing to learn. So always, in particular, keep your mind open so you're able to learn. Always do that. But real quick, people, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab me some water here, and I'm going to remind y'all where y'all at. We're going to take a real brief break here, and y'all stay tuned. We will be back in a second. All right. Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff. And I told y'all we were going to take a brief break. I was just going to remind y'all where we're at real quick. And I welcome y'all to the Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast. Remember, people, you don't have time for games, but it's game time. Remember that. What I've been talking about today is just the reflection of black people. You know, I let y'all know a little bit about what Juneteenth was about. On this day, 250,000 slaves in the state of Texas were made free. 250,000. That number is staggering. 250,000. Like I said earlier, I didn't know that number was actually that big. I had no clue that number was that big. That's wild. So just know that it was 250,000 people that was still working, that was still tending to the fields. Some of these people probably didn't even know they were free. You know? Now, as the original story goes, they were saying that it was when the last few slaves realized that they were free. That was when I first heard of Juneteenth, and they were explaining it. They said it was when the last few slaves that were still working on the plantation actually realized that they were free. But 250,000 slaves in Texas on this day were made free. Isn't that something? That's something to be celebrated, because that just changes a whole tide and a new dynamic. Once again, there's still different things that we had to fight for in terms of trying to fight through racism, racial equality, and different things of that nature. And even your boy Martin Luther King even said maybe with trying to be integrated, maybe that was the worst thing to do. Because when you actually think about it and you think about the political machine that's actually behind everything, they can hit us all together as one. So now it doesn't turn into a, okay, we have to make sure you're equal and they're equal too. No, it turns into, let's create laws that affect everybody. Now let's create classism, right? Now, let's make laws that purposely separate people from people. You know, just think. I just encourage y'all. Sometimes think about the big picture. Just think about the big picture when it comes to this, because once again, Black people, we are the catalyst for a lot of different movements. We are, the way we move, the way we talk, the type of swag that we have, just how we are as people. Understand that we have a way to really shape a whole culture. You know, we have a way to shape American culture. You know, it's kind of wild. You know, it's like when different rap groups come out and different things come out and different R&B artists. Other people, other cultures want to be like us. They want to imitate us, all the way down to the dance moves and the lingo in which we use. Know your role. Know your worth. Know how much influence that you currently and presently have in this world. Because that's what God gave you. God gave you that for a reason, yo. And y'all got to remember that. God gave you that for a reason. Once again, I also encourage you, and I said earlier, go find a mirror today. For all my Black people, go find a mirror today and look at yourself and really ask yourself, what do I see? What do I see? Describe those good things about you, those things that will keep you empowered, those things that will keep you going. I'm telling you, man, for my people out here, if y'all not in this episode today, I'm telling you, if y'all don't get nothing out this episode today, just get it out. Get out today that, listen, you should be heard. And I'm talking to my Black people. Even if you still feel like different things are against you, maybe certain things aren't working for you or with you, just know that this is the land of opportunity. You're in your land. You are in your land of milk and honey. And what I say, when you are in your land of milk and honey, you are in your land of milk and honey right now. It's all in here. You have the power to go ahead and do certain things. Wherever you're getting held back from in one area, always know that there's another area that will help you. There's another resource. There's another person. There's another entity, okay, that you can always find to give you that extra push. And if you can't find it, you can always create your own stuff too. Let me tell y'all something about creation, man. God actually teaches us about creation. I'm going to give y'all some game real quick. I got to drop some knowledge, man. I got to drop something. So with it being Juneteenth, I'm empowering y'all. I'm telling y'all to look at yourselves, look at your Blackness. I want to show you and teach you a very quick principle in how God teaches us repetition. He also taught us repetition with the creation of the days and the seasons. Okay. I'm not going to break it down scripture to scripture. I'm not going to do that. But y'all check out Genesis chapter 1. It's all there. How he tells us literally to put things on autopilot. That's actually how you want to do your life and how you want to do business. Remember that. That's how you want to do business. You want to set up things to go on autopilot and work for you. But to put it into perspective, think about it like this. When God sat up here and he created the days, he created night and day. Night and day is something that's repetitive, right? The days, time, seasons. He created all that. He pretty much created the whole world and all of its inner workings within so many days. And when he did it within this time frame, he put the world on autopilot. This is why creation is very important. This is why when God teaches us that we have the power to manifest and to duplicate and to rinse and repeat. This is exactly what he did. So what I always tell people is, if the wheel ain't broken, don't fix it. Why reinvent something that actually works great for you? What you could do is you can actually find the keys and pick up everything to enhance. So enhance. So that's a quick principle, everybody. Go ahead and always realize that what God has done is he's given us a blueprint to show us different things, not just to only how to live our life, but how to make certain things easy for us as well. Always remember that. He has given us a catalyst. He's given us a way to make it So that way we can have opportunity to have the things that we want and see the results from what we want to get, yo. Everything's not always going to be perfect. But just know that everything has its season, everything has its time to mature, manifest, and grow. And if you don't even try to plant a seed, always remember this. If you don't ever try to plant a seed, people, how can you ever watch something grow? If you don't even nurture your own seed, if you don't even try to water it yourself, take a look at everything that you have your hand on right now. Ask yourself the question, am I doing everything I can to water it? Am I doing everything I can to nurture it? Am I doing everything that I can to make sure that something can grow from what I'm creating? I only know a couple people like that in my life. I only know a couple people like that. I know there are more people that are truly watering, like watering, yo, like truly watering. And sometimes when you keep working at it, working on it, it does grow. It grows heavily. It grows to a great extent. But the only way you get to that point is by putting some water on it. You got to plant the seed. Remember, the seed does grow underground first. It grows underground, and that's the part that you don't see. That's the work that you're putting in. Okay? Because the seed has to feed off something. It feeds off of the nutrients of the soil, the water. A seed can't sprout in dry soil. It has to be watered and nurtured. Always remember that, people. If you want to wonder why you can't get anything to grow, it's because you haven't put as much time into it as you should. Because it takes time. Watering something, okay? Watering something is a part of the process. If you never took time to water anything, you can't yield a harvest. You can't yield growth because you didn't provide the seed with the proper moisture that it needed. You didn't provide it with the proper water that it needed to grow. So always remember that, people. Always remember that. You know, you are in control of everything. And like I said, on this Juneteenth, man, y'all parents, sit y'all kids down. Explain some stuff to them today. Go back, and if you would just want to watch this episode, go back and replay this episode for your kids so they can get something out of it. So you can teach them the aspects and certain things that they really need to know to help them go down the right path in life. Because it all starts at home. I know we hear this cliche saying all the time, baby, but it all starts at home. If you go ahead and you take care of everything at home and you do the best that you can, your kids always remember where they started from. They'll always remember. They always will. I remember things that my mom told me. I remember things that were passed down from me from time and time again, right? Time and time again. I remember those things. But now, since I'm older now and I'm wiser, these things have had time to mature within me, manifest within me, grow within my heart, everything. So it helps. It helps. So always remember that. And always know, people, that there's power in you. There's power in you. Listen, man, I often tell people, Black people, we are very unique in the way we are created, the way we were designed, and the way we were even shaped. Embrace that. Embody that. Embody that. Use that as your power. Don't use it as a weakness, because how my Black people, how we were created is not as a weakness. How we were created was a strength. Look at yourself as being strength. Look at yourself as being more and not less than. Look at you as being the head and not the tail. Look at you as always deserving increase and not famine. Because society will tell you have to go through famine. But I'm going to tell you something. Famine is different for everybody. All famine is lack of. Look at famine as lack of. If you really pay attention to it on that level, all famine is, people, is just lack of. This is why it's game time, people. This is why I'm telling you, you don't have time to play games out here. You don't have time to play games. I'm talking with whatever it is you want to do. You ain't got time to lollygag. You don't have time to wait on others. You don't have time to do none of that. And sometimes when you invest in you, that does mean you may single some people out, because in order to invest in you, it does require you to be a little selfish. Some people don't like that. In order to invest in you, it does require you to be a little selfish. And if you ain't got time for games, you understand that. It's okay to distance and separate for a little bit. You got love for your people. But at the end of the day, there's certain things that you have to get done for yourself that other people cannot do for you. Did that sit with you? Always remember, there's certain things that you have to get done for yourself that other people cannot do for you. You can sit around and wait for everybody to cater to you and help you out and do. But let me tell you, the best time when people want to come in and help you is when you already helping yourself. I'm going to say that one more time. The best time when people will come in and want to help you is when you are actually helping yourself. Man, I'm going to tell y'all something, man. And I'm going to tell y'all what I'm used to with these episodes and I'm used to with these shows. Doing what I do as a life coach, doing what I do as somebody who empowers, it takes a lot of accountability. Okay? It takes a lot of accountability. And what I've learned is, and through and with our people, and just as a race of people, and looking at just how people are in general, accountability is something that doesn't want to be looked at. Even within myself, sometimes I have to remember that, Jeff, you are responsible for something. You're always responsible for something. You can't look at it as I'm not responsible for anything. No, you're responsible for something. You always have to remember that. You can't always look at it and say that, oh, okay, I'm gonna slack up. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. You got to put forth some effort for something. Always. Just always remember you're responsible. And be a good steward over whatever it is you're trying to do. Be a good steward over whatever it is you're trying to do. Let me tell y'all something, a little tidbit. God can't bless whatever you're trying to do if you're not managing over it good yourself. How do you expect God? I gave a whole lecture about watering the seed. If you don't ever water that seed, I ain't ever seen a seed grow in dry land. And if somebody has, I want you to let me know. I'll wait like 2 seconds. Somebody say yes or no. See, no response. Because the thing is, if you show me where a seed has developed in dry land, I will gladly change up what I think about it. I will gladly change how I'm talking it and letting people know about it. But from what I've seen, it takes water. You got to put some type of moisture on that seed in order for it to grow. In order for it to yield some type of fruit for you. Or some type of other seed. Because once you plant a seed can yield many just from one. Always remember that. But once again, it takes work that you have to do, man. Accountability is a big thing in the field that I do. And it's hard because you realize that with the profession that you're in, with some professions that we're in, you got to remember that you might have to be the one to show somebody that. And you can't get let down if other people don't see that. That's a big one. You can't get let down if people can't see the accountability that they have to have, because accountability is different to every individual. All you can do is talk and show somebody a way and then walk away. That's why I love doing this show, because I could plant a seed, lay down a foundation, just walk away. I always tell people all the time, you don't have to listen to what I'm saying. But what I am going to do is I am going to do everything that I can to give you what it is that you need that will help you internally for yourself. Because those things that we nurture and we cater to internally will help you externally. If you don't believe me, just look at it. Feed your soul a little bit. Feed your soul. Feed those things that mean the most to you and watch something become of it. Watch something sprout or happen because of it. And that ain't because I said it. That's simple principle. That's simple principle. Simple principle. It could be biblical, or you could sit up here and look at the laws of nature. You got to nurture something in order for it to yield back something to you. You got to cultivate it. Whenever you watch a farmer, what does a farmer do? A farmer puts in heck of work. A lot of work to till that ground. To make sure that whatever crop he lays down in that soil will produce and yield a seed. Either more seed, okay? Either more seed or some type of fruit or some type of vegetable, something, but it's going to yield some type of fruit. And what I mean by fruit is that thing that you're able to work with, that thing that you can pluck off, and it could either be used for you to eat, or it could be used to help stimulate your mind for growth and development. Y'all do this every week, and I love doing it because without y'all, I would have nobody to talk to. Without y'all, I would have no words to say. I would still have words to say, but without people, I wouldn't be able to reach you all. And I'm grateful each and every day for just for what God allows me to do, just for what he allows me to do, and how I can go ahead, look at certain times and days like this, and I can reflect. I can use Juneteenth to reflect on the culture, the impact that things have had on my life. I had to tell my wife the other day, I still dealt with racism at the job. Being called a nigga on the job. Sorry if I offended some people out there by saying it, but once again, I told you I'm going to tell the truth today. Being called a nigga on the job. And that's something I had to fight through. Where I talked to my boss. Ooh, let me tell y'all the story, baby. Where I sat up here, I talked to my boss, put him down in the office, told him that's what happened. And also that I was compared, that this woman at the time, she don't work there anymore, but this woman at the time compared black people to saying we look more like monkeys than they do, than white people do. Said it to my face. I can't make this up, people. Said it straight to my face. Went into my boss, who was white. Told him what was wrong. And he said, yeah, man, I understand. No, you don't understand. You didn't even try to reprimand this woman or nothing. These are the times that we are still living in today. I want to let y'all know. It might be less prevalent, but to let you know it is still out there. So black people, let's not take you and use Juneteenth as just a day to just have a cookout or just to be off from work today. Let's start using Juneteenth. And what I see a lot of people doing, Juneteenth is used to educate. Let's keep that trend going. Let's keep that going, because at the end of the day, people, if we don't educate ourselves in our own communities, if we don't try to uplift our people and bring ourselves from the bottom to be an example to show others what they can do and what they can be, what are we doing it for? Yeah, you can go ahead and do it for yourself. You know, at the end of the day, we all have certain dreams and hopes and aspirations, or just living to have peace in your day-to-day life. That's for you. But be a light for others. Show people that they have the capacity to do the same exact thing that you are doing too. Make sure that you create a lane within your legacy and in your life that if you were to die today, somebody can say, you know what? The life that they lived, I took something out of that. I took a piece of that. It hurt me. It hurt the world that they're not here anymore. You might not care about that either. Honestly, you might not care about that either. So just do you. But I'm going to tell you this. Somebody will take notice of your life. I don't care if you have nothing but one person. Somebody will always take notice of your life. So just remember, people, you don't have time for games. But it's game time. So keep your head in it and don't look back. Because I guarantee you, if you look back, all you're going to do is bring up them old things of the past when you have such a great and bright and destined future ahead of you. So, all right, y'all. It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you with another episode of the Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast, y'all. And as always, Redirect, Regroup, Refocus. I love y'all so very much. And I thank y'all for tuning in on this Juneteenth with me. Let me just shout out a few people, man. Let me just read down the list a little bit. Cypher Sick Bishop, shout out to your brother Nikisha Spiller, Teresa Keys, Atia Muhammad, and Tanisha Wright. Just a few of the people who sat up here and watched because I'm pressed for time. So, all right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. And remember, Redirect, Regroup, Refocus. I love y'all so much. Peace out.